Hello again, this is Michael Wojcik with your City Council update for the meeting that took place on September 20th, 2010. A few different things happened in this meeting. I'm just going to talk about two of them, one that happened in the committee of the whole. One of the things we did is we had our first actual implementation meeting regarding the Complete Streets policy that we unanimously passed last year, and there was a little bit of a hiccup in that we as a city didn't communicate very well with some of the neighbors around the 16th Street Southeast, and I think there were some misconceptions about what the results would be of doing a 4-to-3 road diet, which basically means we're taking the 2 lanes each direction and changing it into 1 lane each direction plus a turn lane, and are able to put in some bike trails. We're actually doing that to improve safety for bicyclists, pedestrians, and cars, and we're also doing it to decrease car accidents, which has been shown on a national level. And we're also doing it because it's not going to hurt congestion in that corridor either, despite the peaks that you see in the morning hours and the afternoon hours for school in and out. So, but because that wasn't communicated very well, it was we had a little bit of conflict with that. And my hope is that I took the time to actually write out a long letter that I'm responding to all the people who sent me their concerns, and I'm also going to post that information on my website, votewojcik.org, and I'm hoping that that takes care of it, because this is clearly the best decision for all parties in the city, and I just hope that the lack of communication does not inhibit us from getting this done. The other thing that became official is we had we voted on the kickoff accepting the bid for the Skyway to Nowhere. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of the Skyway to Nowhere, how it came about, and some of the things that have happened since I got into office. First and foremost, the initial plan that for that site, and it was developed by Mr. Weiss, very attractive building, the first phase of it downtown city center. It's at the corner of Broadway and 3rd Street Southeast. Initially, Mr. Weiss wanted the city at our expense to build him a parking ramp and a skyway to service his building right there. That would have been a pretty good deal for him, but not a very good deal for the citizens of Rochester. We would have actually taken prime riverfront real estate and put a parking ramp there. And it was actually going to happen, I think, before the 2008 election. This actually failed by a 4-3 margin. And quite honestly, if just like with Washington Village, if my seat had remained the same voting tendencies as before, that would have passed 4-3, and not only would we be building a skyway to nowhere, we'd be building a horribly situated ramp for the benefit of a private developer right now. Fortunately, in my opinion, the 2008 elections did occur, and as a result, we quickly put the kibosh on building the public parking ramp in that poor location. That said, Mr. Weiss was still interested in getting a skyway. Now, skyways have some utility, certainly in a climate like this. I think you're much better off going underneath the street where you don't destroy the streetscape, but we have to look at what is it that we're connecting. In this particular case, the only benefit was to a private building. There's this talk of, well, this is going to create some loop that's part of a master plan. Well, no such plan has ever existed, and if we really wanted to connect up Mr. Weiss's building, we'd have done it across Broadway, which is a more difficult crossing, and there would have been some public benefit for that. But it gets better. Because of difficulties dealing with the Holiday Inn Express, instead of crossing the street with a 30-40 foot skyway between the C.O. Brown building and the Holiday Inn Express, instead we're going to actually do a 1 block long skyway to cross that 30 feet of street that's not very difficult to cross in the first place. So what does that mean? It means about, it was estimated to be $1.5 million. Now the good news is the bid came in only at $1.2 million, so we're only throwing away that amount of money, not the $1.5 million. So just a little bit of a recap. When we initially approved the Skyway to Nowhere, even though it had no public benefit, it was actually stated by one of the council members that, well, this is the way we've always done it. We always pay half. And I just have never accepted that's the way we've always done it as being a valid argument. But myself and Bilderbeck opposed it. Sandra Means, Bob Nowicki, Bruce Snyder, Dennis Hansen, and Ed Ruska all voted in favor of the Skyway to Nowhere. But paying half of that cost at the time we thought it was $750,000 was apparently not good enough, because apparently the project there has been such a debacle that no bank was going to extend the credit line for Joe Weiss to pay for his half. So what do when you can't pay for your half of the Skyway? You come back and say, hey, City of Rochester, would you loan me some money? You know, enough to cover my half? And the City of Rochester said, absolutely, we'd love to do that. And voting on that one, opposed to it, were myself, Mark Bilderbeck, and Ed Ruska. Voting in favor of it were Dennis Hansen, Sandra Means, Bob Nowicki, and Bruce Snyder. So then it gets to this point. We decided that we're going to continue to try to work with the Holiday Inn Express. And let's keep in mind, these have not been very good folks to the people in the City of Rochester. The first thing they did is they came in and committed illegal acts against the workers there at the Holiday Inn Express, of which they were, found guilty in a court of law as well. They should have been, but starting out treating some of the workers there pretty poorly is not a good way to score points in my book. And they just absolutely would not allow the Skyway to go through there. We had the potential of using eminent domain to actually take the land because it's not being used for anything, but that would have been an incredibly costly process. But as we're going down this path, we actually get a letter from Joe Weiss's attorney saying that, well, you know what, if you don't build it in the alley, we're going to sue you. So, despite the fact that we are giving him more than $500,000 for half the Skyway, lending him his half of the money, he was going to sue us if we didn't build that Skyway the way that he wanted to. I just have to shake my head. And what did the City Council do as a response to this? We voted by a 4-2 vote. It would have been 5-2 if Dennis Hansen had been there to go ahead and award the bid and start the construction on the Skyway to nowhere. Again, that vote, myself and Mark Bilderbeck opposed. Ed Ruska, Denny Hansen, Bob Nowicki, Sandra Means, and Bruce Snyder voting in favor of it again. So Rochester, you're now getting your Skyway to nowhere, and I understand that a lot of you are going to be pretty ticked when you see the, when you see what's probably going to most people are going to see probably in the ballpark of a 7% property tax increase, and you're going to say, how can you be increasing our taxes when we're building a Skyway to nowhere? And I guess I share your frustration, and I'm disappointed, and it'll be interesting to see if the voters actually remember in this election and future elections, because this isn't the first time the city's done something like this. It's I guess this is just an embarrassment. I don't have a whole lot of positive things I can say. I don't know what the hell we're thinking with this. This is just throwing away money. Now, some people are going to say that these are downtown dollars that can't be used for other things, and if they give you that argument, it's a load of crap, and here's why it's a load of crap. There are a number of things, like, for example, the dollars that we put into the 2nd Street rehab, we could have used those same dollars for. As a result, that would have saved us money out of the general fund. So saying it's one pile of money and not another is just not a valid argument, and I think that 98% of the city's budget, I think, is actually pretty rational and prudent, but it's this 2%, the crap like this, that really gets people frustrated, and I think overall the city's doing a pretty good fiscal job, but boy, this is just an embarrassment. So there's my rant on the Skyway to nowhere. It's at this point it's pretty much history, and you've got your Skyway to nowhere. The one thing I'd say is Holiday Inn Express at this point, they have some special privileges in terms of where they can put their signs and some special agreements with parking, and I'm looking to see those agreements eliminated as quickly as possible. I don't feel that they're working with the public in a fair way, and I don't think we should be making special accommodations for them if that's the way that they're going to act. So I thank you for watching as always, and make sure you get out and vote on November 2nd. Make sure you educate yourself before you vote, and I always look forward to your questions. See you next time.